I'm back here, guys. Let me know. Do I got volume? Anybody got volume? Let's see if we get some guys back. How to stop that other one? What I was doing to get us guys started was give you a quick little injury report. So what we got for the 3 basketball games tonight, you got Siakam. He's going to be rested for Toronto. Second half of a back-to-back. They're taking it easy with him. He's just getting back from his shoulder injury. Pretty shockingly, Tobias Harris is going to come back from his little bout with COVID tonight. And he's going to play with the Sixers. And in the Heat game, they've already ruled out Butler. Jimmy Butler will be out for the Heat. I got you with me, Ben. Good, but he was just throwing down. I'm going to start each day with a little rundown on injuries. So I was just saying how we got Siakam's going to be rested for Toronto. Philadelphia is going to have Tobias Harris back. Still waiting on the Seth Curry info. Miami Heat will have no Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo questionable. That's the reason for that Clipper line going from 3.5 to 5.5. For How to Beat the Bookie members, if you saw our website earlier, I had Jimmy Butler as questionable. I don't look, if I knew Butler's out, especially if Butler's out and Adebayo's questionable, I'm making a bet we would have been on the Clippers. But I don't bet on questionables. I want to know for sure the guy's in or out. I kind of figured he was out, but it wasn't 100%. Anyway, so that game right now is sitting at Clippers 5.5. Clippers have actually beaten the Heat the last 5. They've beaten them and covered the last 5 times they've met. The Heat are back-to-back off overtime, but obviously no travel. They played the Lakers last night. Lakers and Clippers share the Staples Center. So that's just a little bit of a quick injury update in the football game. They still have not announced if Tagovailoa is going to be the quarterback. I'm guessing he's not going to be. They've been saying they're getting they've downgraded him to doubtful. Okay, looks like Jacoby Brissett. He'll be the quarterback tonight. There is a little rain in Miami. Miami could be a thunderstorm in a second, and it could be over 2 minutes later. So that's a little bit of a weather report there. That game has now gone up to 9. I don't know why this game's gone up to 9. I'm guessing it's gone up to 9 on the quarterback info. Tagovailoa is just not that much better for anybody as a quarterback. But if this game was to go to 10, I'll give it to you guys now. If this game was to go to 10, I'm on the Dolphins at +10. As of right now, I don't have a bet on the game. If you saw any questions in there, do we got anybody who want to join? Guys, come on, join us. We'll talk about, we'll take any questions. You got anything we'll start us off with, Ben?
Yeah, I was just going to go off what you were talking about there as far as the NFL Thursday night football game tonight, guys. Just a couple of trends. I mean, keep in mind some of these trends date a bit back, but the Ravens are 9-0 against the spread and recency in the matchup. But as John said, that number's climbing, starting to get to an uncomfortable point. And keep in mind, last time we had the last 3 primetime games. I mean, the Rams, 7.5-point favorites, didn't cover. The Cardinals against the Packers, 7.5-point favorites, didn't cover. We had on Monday night, we had the Steelers, 7.5-point favorites, didn't cover. And that's where this line opened up at. Injury news is climbing a bit. So I'm with John on that read where this line is getting a bit bigger and it's starting to get a bit more unsettling. And wouldn't be surprised if dogs pull it out.
Yeah, it looks like this Raven team there, they start slow also. I mean, they come on, looks like they can score whenever they want to when it's Jackson gets ready, but they've been starting slow the last few weeks also. But let's talk a little about basketball until we get anybody that wants to join in. What I'm going to do is recap games from the night before. So if you guys were with us yesterday, we talked a lot about how I took the Pistons +4.5, win that game outright. But unless you remember, you didn't know the other 2 bets I had the Bucks and had Phoenix Suns. So I want to give you guys a little insight to what makes me make bets. Now, hopefully you guys have followed me long enough. You know I talk a lot about my rating system and what my numbers are on games. And I always say that's my base. That's my starting point. So let's take a game with Milwaukee Bucks at the Knicks yesterday. So my starting point on the numbers, I think I was at 3 on the game. Because my numbers say the Knicks were a point, but Milwaukee was in a back-to-back coming off the Philly game the night before. What pushed me to the game was I'm very big in revenge. The main thing about the NBA is, I want the team that's coming to play that night. Now, they come to play most nights, but they don't come to play all nights. It's not like NFL. NFL, there's 17 games this year, and they all come to play every friggin' week, okay? Got to come to play, you get hurt. NBA, these guys, they take some nights off. They dog it some nights, back-to-back, 5th and 7th, which is to be expected. But I want to bet against the teams that may be taking the night off, and I want to take the team that I know is coming with a game. So the Knicks last week went into Milwaukee, and they beat them by 15 in Milwaukee. I know the Bucks are going to come with revenge on them. I'm like, hey, they came into our house, beat us by 15. We got to come with a game. They did. They won by 12. So it's just another angle. Same situation. Also bet the Phoenix Suns last night, which there was a line that shocked me. One of the few times the line actually went against me, I sent out first thing in the morning, -5.5 on the Suns. That game closed 5. I just can't see zero reason to bet Portland. Going into last night's game, so Portland was 0-5 straight up and against the spread on the road. Okay, playing Phoenix. They had beaten Phoenix at Portland by 29 points. They're playing the night before. Phoenix is rested. Phoenix was looking to wax them. Again, may not win, but they're coming with their game. So little insight to the other 2 games that I bet. So I'm going to recap the games from the night before. Again, tough to give you guys the games that I'm betting on today when we have our members that are actually paying for it. So Ben, maybe you got a little something to add with the way my betting system is. Maybe you can give me what your system is or what you can add to that.
Yeah, so to add on to what John was saying about his ratings and from yesterday and some of the reads, I mean, first off, his input on NBA as far as revenge is a great angle. I mean, you got to think, especially we saw that last year with the COVID schedule because there were so many teams playing kind of games in bunches. They were trying to limit the travel. So you really started to see the revenge effect last season, but even more so into this year. I mean, you have a team like Golden State, right? Golden State's been on the home. They went on 8-9 game homestand, and they're not traveling. They're not moving anywhere. They're on a groove right now, so they're rolling. They continue to roll last night. And they have a team like Portland, like they were traveling. They had to go to Phoenix. They had the back-to-back. You got to find the storylines. You got to keep up with that big time in NBA. And, yeah, John's all over it as far as his system, as far as him keeping up with what is going on day to day, what is going on next week, what is going on with the travel schedule, what is going on with the injuries. I mean, having it all up to date, knowing the storyline coming to the game. And NBA regular season's kind of a wash. I mean, yes, you need to kind of get the best seating possible, but like John said, they don't show up every night, and trying to find when they're going to show up. Very important, very important. And, I like the angle there. And football, different storyline. Obviously, you have one game a week. Everyone's coming every different week. With football, sometimes you can kind of find the look-aheads, or you can find kind of, I don't want to call them trap games necessarily, but say, for example, you had the Saints beat the Bucks, and then you have the letdown spot against the Falcons. Or like this past week, you had the Rams who lost to the Titans, and then the Titans have a tough game coming up this Sunday where they could be in a letdown spot against the Saints. So you have to look for these letdown spots in NFL more so than a revenge spot, I like to say, because I just think you have teams who are looking ahead further in the schedule into tougher matchups.
Letdown trap game, those definitely exist in NFL. Great example would be a couple of weeks back. You get the Bengals. They just come off whipping the Ravens in Baltimore. They got to come to the Jets. And the following week, they're going to be playing the Browns. So when the week that they went into to play the Jets, it was their 3rd week in a row on the road. Like I said, they had just beaten the Ravens, a team that had bitched them out pretty much for the last 5-6 times that they played them, destroyed them twice last year. So they're coming off that big win. People starting to talk about the Bengals as like a real team, a force to be reckoned with, the whole bit. and they've got the other divisional rival, the other team they share Ohio with, the Browns, the next week, going to the Jets and get outrighted by the Jets. Absolute had trap game written all over it. You can go to my website. I literally put that in the website. Can you say trap game? And that definitely was one of the trap games.
Just to address some of the comments going on here, this guy Hugh saying it's impossible to beat the bookmakers. Appreciate Adventure for the response. 12-13 in NBA this week. I think that would argue the difference of being able to beat the bookmakers. I mean, that's a pretty damn good percentage. Obviously, that's not a sustainable record over a season, but winning span is definitely going to help you get above 60%, and that is how you beat the bookmaker over a longer period of time.
99.99% are not going to beat the bookie. That's because they're suckers, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, because they listen to the frauds that are out here. This guy went 80%. The guys that say that they're cappers and they want you to pay them, and they're telling you to bet parlays and bet teasers and buy points. Excuse me. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. To be successful in this business, you want to limit your plays. You don't want to give the bookie any more juice than you have to. Like I said, bet strong. I just got to mention this guy. Like I said, we're going to start calling some of these guys out. So one of these guys is J.A. Cavalier. And I see his advertisements every day, and they're pretty graphics and everything. And it just so happens that he's got a max bet, max total, max parlay on every fucking TV game. So this jerk-off is telling the public every TV game he's got the goods on. Not only the game and the total, but parlay the game. So, guys, look, if you're paying somebody like that, you're a sucker. That's what you'll never win. He could never win. That guy can call me up. Me and him will bet straight up anytime he wants. He can max bet. These guys, 300 units. Look, it reminds me in the old days, we used to get a schedule book and would have the schedule for the next 3 weeks at a time. Before everything, like you guys got computers, when I was in my 20s, I'd have a schedule book. And in that schedule book, touts would advertise in there, and they would have a lock on the Monday night game 3 weeks from now. So, you don't know injuries. Is the team hot? Is the team cold by then? Of course you can't. But they know that the guys, the regular Joe customer, wants to bet the TV games. Now, you'll notice the difference with me. Guys, last Monday night, Bears, Steelers, I want to go under. I want to give out a bet, but the number's not right. So I pass. Again, for the millionth time, I do not give you guys a bet. I don't make myself. Didn't bet the game. Couldn't bet the game. But J.A. Cavalier, he could bet the game. So every fake, fraud, capper out there, they knew who the winner of the game and the total was, and they want you to parlay it. Again, that's surefire way how to tell a fraud. If you can't, first of all, you can't have the nuts on most of the games. We pick a game here or there. If you look, we put up our last 6 days that we're 12-1. In 2 of those 6 days, I only had one bet. One day I only think I bet the Lakers total under, and one day I had just the Suns -2. Some days there's only one bet. As of right now, I don't have a bet today. There's the Thursday night football and 3 NBA games. And, of course, I want to get my members a bet. But I didn't bet anything, so I can't give it out. But you go to any other Capper's page, and they know the winner of all 4 fucking games and the totals because they're geniuses. They're morons, they're mutts, and they play you guys for suckers. Okay? So, 99.99% of guys cannot beat the bookie. I've been doing it my whole life. So, guys, that's about all I can tell you. We got any more questions we could answer? Or does anybody want to join us? I think we get somebody out here. We're going to let them tap in.
Yeah, just to roll off what he was talking about there as far as with all these handicappers out there in the industry, guys, I mean, there's just so many frauds out there left and right, no matter where you look. And you want a capper who's not going to have a pick every single night because there's not always value on the board. There's 3 NBA games, 1 NFL game. Yes, there's some college basketball as well. But if you don't see value in those 3 NBA games, no reason to force a bet, no reason to take a pick that you don't have a right side. And, typically there is a right side to bet. Even if the bet doesn't win, there's still a right side to bet.
Look, what I do also at How to Beat the Bookie is I don't give you guys a pick on every game, but I will give you information on every game. So you could take my ratings And maybe that's going to help you you want to make a bet on the game. I don't have a pick. It'll help you make a bet on the game. So I'm just going to read you guys off. Some of you guys may not be members. So this is actually what I have written on tonight's game. The Ravens had over 500 yards of offense and beat the Vikings 34-31 in overtime at Baltimore last week. The Ravens have won 6 of their last 7 games. Baltimore is 5th in rushing yards allowed, 91.8 yards per game, but 31st in passing yards allowed, 282.5 yards per game. I'm going to intervene here. This isn't in the site, but with Brissett quarterbacking today, that's that terrible stat that they have against Baltimore's passing. This kid can't pass. Tagliavola would have a little better of a chance. But from there it says the Ravens lead the NFL in rushing, 161.6 yards per game, while the Dolphins are last in rushing, 75.1 yards per game. The Dolphins won 17-9 at home over the Texans to snap a 7-game losing streak last week. Jacoby Brissett started at quarterback in place of the injured Tagliavola. Game time decision Thursday, which I haven't changed that yet, but he looks doubtful. Brissett will start. Three of the Ravens' last 4 games have gone over, 54.8 points per game. But three of the Dolphins' last 4 games have gone under, 41 points per game. So I didn't have a pick, but maybe that'll help you decide if you're on the fence. Hey, I just want to throw something on the game, a small bet, and maybe this will help you. Or my ratings will help you decide which way to go. Again, How to Beat the Bookie is also about, we give you the previews. We don't bet every game, but there's a preview on every game. You got ratings on every team, both home and away. And just to give you insight, and we update the injuries constantly. Like I said, in the football game, there's the injury. And you get every injury in the basketball game, literally up to the minute. We're here till tip-off of the last game. And if there's a game to update the injury, and just to let you guys know, this Clipper game is even going higher. It's going to 6 right now. So Bam Adebayo might be out also. We're waiting for that news. So I'll be here right up until that news, and I'll update the site as soon as I get that info. So, again, we're not just about predictions. We'll give you information and give you ratings. Like I said, go check out ESPN's. They get in football, it's called the FPI, Football Power Index. Basketball, it's called the BPI, Basketball Power Index. Go to Sagarin's ratings, football, basketball. Compare mine with them, and you can't compare them.
Just to answer one of the questions below, someone asked if the line has changed on the Rams-Niners game Monday night since the Odell signing. The line has moved a little bit, kind of from 3.5. I've actually seen some with 4. But honestly, about that game, just to touch in a little bit, I mean, the Rams are
that game hasn't moved since the signing. That game's been sitting at 4. He's meaningless in this. Look, Kupp is the number 1 receiver. Personal opinion, this kid just looks like a cancer to me. Where I don't know if he's going to help or if he's going to hurt the team. But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just to give you guys some little trends and stats on that, the Rams, the last 4 times they faced the Niners, they're 0-4. The last 11 times in the matchup, 3-8 against the spread. So low line in that game, divisional matchup, a lot of history there, prime time. Going to be definitely, a lot of money on that, a lot of eyes on that game. Definitely going to be interesting to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if with the Odell signing, the line climbs a little bit throughout the week, but I agree with John. I just don't think Odell's game-changing for the Rams, especially first week. They do too much with Cooper Kupp, Woods, and, Matt Stafford didn't look terrific last week, and I'm expecting him to bounce back, but I don't think that's going to be because of Odell. I think since this Niners defense hasn't been that great.
What is Odell going to do? He's going to go there and complain he's not getting the ball off. Again, you got Cooper Kupp there, you got Woods, you got this kid Van Jefferson, and you got the tight end Higbee. So that's it. It's like when the Nets have Kyrie and they got KD and they got Harden. There's just not enough basketballs to go around. So what's Odell going to do when he's not getting his 5, 6, 7 targets a game? I want the boy who's going to have his fucking father tweet again. That's Bush League shit to me. I mean, that's all I could say. Anyway, I don't even know if he'll play, but if he does, he is affecting the line 0. The line is not moving at all because of Odell. The line moves, guys, on game changes. And game changes in the NFL are your quarterbacks And in certain situations, your running backs, and I'm talking about a running back like Nick Chubb. Earlier this week, the Cleveland Browns were the bet. That line opened up New England Patriots 2.5. Game went down to 1. Info came out that Chubb tested positive for COVID. That line has gone back up to 2.5. Nick Chubb is a game changer. Derrick Henry is a game changer for the Titans. There's no way that the Rams would have been 7 if Henry was in the game. Now, Titans won the game anyway last Sunday night, but that line with Henry in the game is Rams 4.5. Now, 2.5 was an overreaction because running backs are not 2.5, even though this guy's probably the greatest running back in the last handful of years, but they just don't make that big of a difference. Plus, Tannehill got Julio Jones back. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. These are 2 real good wide receivers, so they have a little bit of a passing game too. But so a wide receiver, yeah, a game changer. Hill for KC. Few of the guys make a little bit of a difference. A tight end like Kelsey, tight end like George Kittle. These guys will make a little bit of a difference. Half a point to the line, depending on the situation, but not Odell Beckham, who's coming in to be, the 4th wide receiver on the squad right now. So that pretty much answers that. Let's see if we got anybody here. We're going to try. I got to get this guy in, Matt. He's been a follower for quite a while.
Spencer's below asking questions about – we got Matt in here. What's up, Matt?
How's it going? How's it going, John?
Matt?
I just had some questions about the ratings there.
Questions?
Yeah, a couple questions about the ratings. The NFL ratings, like you were saying, so on the Broncos game, you made it a 6-point game, and then it was actually 10-point spread. So you took it, you loved it because it was a 4-point spread. So I kind of saw that, and you said 2-point spread on NFL is a like. But for NBA, what is that?
Okay, so NBA, let's do it this way. As I was talking about the games yesterday. So Portland had Phoenix yesterday. My numbers on the game, let me see what it said. I think it was a 4.2 actually. My base number was Phoenix 4.2. But Portland was back-to-back, coming off the game with the Clippers, and then I had the revenge. So again, I have a base number, and then I got to put stuff in. Now, my spot, what I call the spot, adding for the spot can be. I really don't see 4th and 5s. I think they took the 4th and 5s out of the schedule. But when there used to be 4th and 5s that took travel on, there were teams that I could actually take off 4 points for a 4th and 5. So it all depends on the team also. You take a team like the Hawks. Hawks are deep. Now, they were on a back-to-back 5th and 7th the other night at the Jazz. Now they're normally deep, but now you got 2 guys missing. You had Bogdanovich and Hunter out. So now not so deep. So it's not just a blanket number, give X amount. If it's back-to-back, it's back-to-back. It depends on the travel. You guys got to understand. If you got like Milwaukee last night, Milwaukee was going from Philly to New York. You're talking about a 90-minute ride. You know what I mean? It's not travel like from Miami to New York. So how much do they travel? Not just how many days. What's the travel like? When you're traveling West Coast, whole big thing. A thing we've been using for years is that West Coast to East Coast. Very tough for those guys to get on the schedule. Same thing here, East Coast to West Coast. You guys are usually starting, their game starts at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock out in L.A., now it's already 10 o'clock to tip off, So a lot of it depends on that. So it's not just a blanket number of add this, take away this. So the NBA, a lot more than the NFL. NFL, you get your bye, you get your Monday night, which I'll throw this one out there already. I'll throw it out there to everybody. My VIP members got it already. I'll be posting our NFL tonight. I took Lions +9 for Sunday. Lions absolutely suck. They're coming off a bye week. Steelers are coming off Monday night. Had to do everything the fuck they had to do to beat the Bears, who are another shit team, really. So 9 points, just too much. I think the number is Steelers are 1-5 against the spread at home. This game that I think. Look, Detroit, they're 2-2 against the spread on the road. They played a great game in L.A., so they mix in a terrible game with a game that they off Detroit. I think with the bye week, And the Steelers, short week of rest, they come with a game, and I'm looking for a 7-point game. So that's one of my plays. So, again, the spot, this team's on a bye. This team's on a short week. That's NFL. In NBA, Phoenix was rested. We were saying earlier. Phoenix was rested. Portland was coming on a back-to-back. Portland had blown Phoenix out by 29 points the week before, 2 weeks before. That's the spot. So where my number might only say 4 points something, I put in the back-to-back. I put in a range, and my number says 7.5. You know, so
yeah,
that's about the best I can explain it. You know.
yeah, I got you. So like, I mean, like last night the Raptors game, I think you had the Raptors rated like, I think you had them at 34, and then the Celtics on the road like 33.8. So you actually had the Raptors a favorite by barely.
What,
so I took them +3.
No, because I'll tell you why. That's wouldn't I have told you to bet it?
No, I'm just saying that, but I'm just using your ratings.
Boston, Toronto went into Boston early in the season and fucking waxed them. It was a revenge. I was looking for every reason to bet the Celtics, but my numbers said I just couldn't. You're right.
Yeah, all right.
I had Toronto rated better on the road than that's how strong these revenge games are. There were 3 revenge games yesterday. Toronto Celtics was one. Toronto beat Celtics 32 earlier this year in Boston Garden. But I think I had Toronto rated 0.2 points better on the road than the Celtics at home. And this is because Celtics are without Jaylen Brown. I mean, if Jaylen Brown's there, it's obviously it's different. Right. So Siakam has played the last couple of games. He's not back to snuff. That's why they're keeping him out tonight. They're bringing him along slowly. And that revenge is so strong. Portland, Phoenix was the other revenge. And Milwaukee, Knicks was the other revenge. Revenge games went 3 for 3 last. So, believe me, I was looking for every reason to pull the trigger on the Celtics because of the revenge, but my numbers wouldn't let me, and that's the one that's the one I missed. That's why that revenge, especially when it's home revenge.
Right.
This game was not only revenge, it was home revenge, and it was a wipeout, like 32. They poured it up. So yeah. That's almost a 2.5 point, 3 point add to the Celtics in that particular spot.
All right. Thanks for the information, John.
Love having you, Matt. Stay with me,
Thanks.
buddy. Let's make some money. Let me
Yes,
see
sir.
if I can get in here. I just popped in somebody else. Jump in, Ben, while I'm trying to get somebody in.
Yeah, so another thing, guys, I'm just talking about NBA betting strategies in general. Live betting with NBA, I mean, you can get, for example, Knicks-Bucks last night, right? I went into that game with the Bucks plus the points. And, you know, at some point, the Bucks were up 22. You can get the Knicks at plus 17.5. Take that. You have a nice little 20-point window of a hedge. I mean, you have with NBA, you're going to have runs. There's going to be 10, 12-0 runs. You're going to have that line shoot up 8, 6 points at that time. And you can usually get yourself at both sides of the ball. So we do that on our live streams. You guys ever want to come hang out with us? We're live pretty much every single night. We're looking for these live spots. We're picking each other's brains, talking about different things. And yeah, live lines in NBA, best sport in my opinion for live betting just because how significant the runs are. And same thing with over-unders. You'll have minutes go by where there's 2 to 3 minutes, no one hits a basket, that over-under will drop 6 to 8 points, and you can get yourself at a lot better value compared to what that line opened up at sometimes. Just going through the comments here. If anyone else has any questions about anything, go ahead and drop them below. Whether it's about tonight, maybe the upcoming week with different strategies, anything that John and I have said tonight, whatever it might be.
I'm hammering Wentz anytime. Guys, these prop stuff, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't do anything with them. Good luck with them. Again, the more bets that you're making out there, the thinner you spread yourself to the books, the more they're going to punish you. That's all I can tell you. I mean, they're fun and stuff to watch a game, but again, I don't do them. I spend enough hours just trying to predict the winner on a particular game. Do we see any other stuff in here? Isn't something you could figure out, strategize? No, I guess.
This guy Young is saying, will LA hit tonight -5? I think that's the best bet on that game. I mean, you have Heat without Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. I don't know if he's been listed out yet. I know he's questionable.
He's questionable, and now they're listed Hero questionable also. That line is actually up to 6 now.
Yeah, and the Heat are 0-5 against the spread the last 5 meetings. They're going to be banged up as hell. They played the Lakers last night in an overtime game. I mean, there's just so many things lining up for the Clippers in this spot. So if I were to touch that game, I would agree with you, Young X 209, and I would take the Clippers minus the points.
Hey, look, if the Heat are going if they're going empty, if they're going to just sit everybody tonight, it's the Clippers or nobody. Clippers are actually playing good ball. They won their last 5 straight. They've won the last 4 against the numbers straight.
No Jimmy Butler, too, is huge for a game
Huge.
against the Clippers. I mean, that's the guy who's going to guard Paul George. So you take out the main defender for Paul George, it's going to let him have 30-plus tonight and should be able to have pretty easy and then be able to get everyone else involved because now the Heat are going to have to worry about playing help defense on a Paul George. It'll open up the offense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look through here some of these to see if I see any of these other questions. Nobody wants to jump in? Come on, guys. You're always asking me questions in the DM. Jump in. Now's the time. Also, just going now is some money's coming in on Toronto. +4. That's I'm looking for a little more information on that game. I'm waiting to see what's up with Seth Curry. Like I said, they've announced that Tobias Harris is coming back from COVID tonight. No word yet on Seth Curry. I just don't. Now they're actually saying, okay, got a little more updated news. Tobias Harris officially a game-time decision. While reported a couple of outlets that Harris had been cleared to play. That is not the case. 76ers Doc Rivers said during media availability, Harris does not feel good. His status will not be determined until after he goes through pregame routine. So this is a game I'm looking at, guys. I'll tell you right now, obviously it all depends on the injuries. If there's no Harris and there's no Seth Curry, but we're going to come right back with Toronto, even though they're in a little back-to-back spot. So if we got nobody else, somebody else wants to join us here. Let me see if we can get them in here.
Card King's asking any strategies about college football, college basketball. One thing I find unique about college sports in general is, there's teams that are ranked, and you can usually find trap spots based on the rankings. I mean, a perfect example, last Saturday we had Michigan State, the 3rd-ranked team in the country, going up against Purdue. I mean, in my opinion, going into that game, it should have been a pick 'em. You had a couple of points there for Purdue, but the only reason why Michigan State was ranked 3rd was because of their win against Michigan, which is a rivalry game. You can't add too much value in the overall rankings, but I do think that you can find some good trap spots based on those rankings, based on the schedule. Obviously, Michigan State was going to give hell to Michigan, and they were dialed in for that game previously before Purdue. And for Purdue, heading into a game like Michigan State, opportunity to beat a ranked team. I think Purdue has the most ranked wins since 2000 of any college football team. As a non-ranked team beating a ranked team, because obviously Bama's going to have like a bunch of ranked wins. But using those rankings, the AP rankings, I think you can get some good value and some good leans on some games.
Look, college rivalries, you can always go with those college rivalries, just even in the pros. I mean, you could take a team, let's call it the Yankees Red Sox right now. If you've got one of those teams out of the playoffs and the other one's in the playoffs, the team that's out usually is not going to get up for every game, but when they're playing their rival, they're going to get up. See, especially when you're talking about college, there's nothing that Michigan State is always looked at as the little brother. They're always going to want to knock off the big brother, Michigan. You know what I mean? So you have those rivalries. Myself, I haven't been following college sports for years. I dedicate 24/7 to the 3 pro sports that I do, and college is just so huge, so intense. The way we used to do it back in the day was a group of us. I might take 2 or 3 conferences, or another one out of the group would take a couple of conferences. You just cannot cover all of the all of college football, or certainly how big they've expanded college basketball now. Half the teams now weren't even on the board 20 years ago. So it's a whole different game. So I only stay. I can tell you guys the 13 front men on every NBA roster. Who's going to be in? Like how many of you guys know Isaiah Joe for the 76ers? And he's not a big name. He's out with COVID right now. But to get him back right now with the way 76ers need bodies, he'd be important to them. So I can't tell you, like I said, Canisius is playing the other day. I have got no fucking clue who the starting five are for Canisius. So I can't give you an expert opinion, and that's the only thing I do is give an expert opinion. Ben's got a good read on colleges, and he's on top of this live stuff, so you may want to follow him on his show. He does a great job with that.
Just to answer some of these questions here again, we have Jason saying, where are you getting these up-to-the-minute injury updates? Peter is saying, what is the best time to bet before NBA game? And Jared asking about the VIP service. What does it include? Honestly, to all three of you guys, I think, and to anyone watching, one, the VIP service does include when John bets the game. So, Peter, you're asking when's the best time to bet the game? Well, it depends on when the line has the most value. It depends on, based on where the movement is, depends on the early sharp action, how they want to move the line. So John's on top of that. That's a part of the VIP service. You get to bet it when he bets it. Best time.
8:45 in the morning. As we bet the Pistons, we saw that they moved the Rocket game, and we explained what phonies were yesterday when they take a line and push it in a different direction. So they pushed it up to 4.5, and the VIP members got a message at 8:45. We're on the Pistons plus 4.5. That game actually closed 2 and 2.5 yesterday. So when is the best time? The best time is when you get the best number. The best time is if we get the Jimmy Butler information as soon as the line came out this morning, which opened up at 3.5. If we knew Jimmy Butler was out at that time, laying 3.5 at that point was the best time. When you get the best number. The VIP service, it doesn't include anything. What it includes is just that. All I'm going to give you is a message as soon as I make the bet. So on, I believe, Tuesday morning, after the Monday Night Football game, I already know I like the Lions. As soon as that line came up, 9 points, we took +9. Now, our regular members, our website members, aren't going to get that line until we post NFL for Sunday, which is on Thursday night after the Thursday night kickoff. But the VIP members get that as soon as I make that bet, which was Tuesday morning, I sent out, we like the Lions +9 points. Same thing like I said yesterday. I'm giving you bets at 8:45 in the morning. I gave you the Pistons, and I gave you the Suns. Okay, but it doesn't stop there. At 12 o'clock, when I just wanted to make sure that everybody came, because Milwaukee had gone from playing the Wizards. They did a White House visit because they won the World Championship. They were in Philly and then coming to New York. I wanted to make sure at shoot-around everything was okay with Freak, because if you got no Freak, you got no Bucks team. He was okay. I went in, and at about 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock I think it was, as soon as I heard Freak was at shoot-around, he's all good to go. I sent out, we're on the Bucks +4. So, again, like I said, we don't stop working. It was last week. I told the guys in the live yesterday, but last week I was waiting. New Orleans was at Golden State. Ingram was questionable for New Orleans. 9:37 is when I got the information. Ingram's out. Told a VIP member, and I put it on the website. Go bet Golden State -8.5. Golden State won by 40. So we're on it. We're on injuries constantly. When's the best time to bet? As soon as we get the information, it's past you. This is what makes How to Beat the Bookie different than any. Well, first of all, these guys are fake ass fucking cappers anyway. But even the handful that are real, and there's some good guys out there. And the guys that I'll give credit to, even that look, none of them have the knowledge. I've got over 40 years in the business, and this is not to slander anybody or talk down to anybody. They're 25, 30-year-old kids. They've got some technology. They know sports. They just can't have the experience I got. They just can't. I'll give them credit. At least they put their face to it. They tell you who they're betting. Not like these sites that just put these pretty pictures up and tell you they had every fucking winner and they hit 93%. Okay? But, those are fakes. What we do is real. We're working from 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. I get an injury, boom, you got it. If we're betting a VIP game, and if it's the Clipper game tonight, and let's say Paul George, all of a sudden at 9:30, he gets tested positive for COVID, you're going to know that because we're going to take the Heat +6 if there's no Paul George in the game. So this is what you get with the VIP service, and it's on our website also. Problem is the website. You got to go back and check. Like I was telling the guys yesterday, there was a game a couple of Sunday nights ago. It was New Orleans at Seattle. Line opened 4, and the line just kept climbing. And I had no interest in the game. I made the game 4, but the game went to 6 right at post time, and you know what? 6 is going to be enough points for me in a low-scoring game. So right at post time, I went with Seahawks plus 6. Now, we didn't have the VIP service at that time, and that's why I says I've got to get this message out to the guys quick enough because I'm going to put it up on the website, but I'm going to have guys doubting me like, oh, when'd you put it up? After the game started? You know, so I don't need that shit. So that's why we get the VIP service. I make a bet, literally pop it right out to you guys. We start from first thing in the morning because that's when a lot of the movement goes on. Again, I've talked about the phonies. And what I mean with the phonies is the sharp guys will push the number where they want to push it so that they'll spend some money to get the line down to a spot that they want to bury it and come back the other way. It's all a game, guys. And I've been part of this game for over 40 years. That's why I can give you this knowledge. And that's why I'm the 0.001% that can win and has won at this game while 99.9% can't. Take it away, Matt, and then we'll wrap it up. And then you guys can go follow Ben, on his show tonight.
Yeah, guys, just one more time to reiterate it. I mean, John and I, we're putting in the work, putting in the hours, and John's experience is definitely unmatched compared to most handicappers. And a point that he doesn't make too often, it's affordable. I mean, most cappers out here charging $100 a pick for bullshit parlays, bullshit teasers. And quite frankly, I mean, the affordability is the most important part for John. I don't know any capper out there who has a 12-in-1 week charging $20-$30 for the week, and it's just a bonehead decision to not sign up. I'd make sure you get it, especially if you don't know sports. If you're interested in betting and you're interested in getting an angle, do it with How to Beat the Bookie, do it with John and us, and you'll definitely be glad you did. I can already see, I counted at least 10-15 comments. This guy Vince Sandy said, I only joined a few months ago, but man, I'm happy I did. Hopefully a lot more of you become happy campers, sign up, and let's have a good time and hang out with me on the stream tonight. We're going to be live at 7:30 Eastern. A little bit before the NFL kickoff. We have TNT doubleheader. It's going to be a fun time.
And guys, I hope to get a few more of you guys in. I'm surprised a lot more people aren't trying to tap in. I want to get you in on the conversation. Maybe we'll get some more of you guys tomorrow. We're going to do this Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. Like I said, give Ben a follow, Better Media. Give him a follow and go check out his show. And let me get back to work, see if I can pick out a winner, and let's make some money.
See you guys next time.
Think so.